Activity levels have gone down, and with the current crisis that we're facing with Kariba, it could be very drastic. It's actually critical. Kariba is our biggest source of power, and with the water levels, it's just not producing enough power. So I think the key here is about planning, and if we look at the region, if we look at South Africa, we see the same thing in South Africa, massive power cuts, daily power cuts. Zimbabwe could be 4 hours a day of power for most people.
Zimbabwean business is the biggest casualty of the prolonged 19-hour blackouts. Many small businesses, including supermarkets and restaurants, have been forced to rely on generators to keep operating. They are calling on authorities to bail them out.
It is slowing down economic development. It is reducing the amount of economic activity on day to day. So I really call upon you, Honourable Minister, to work with the whole of government on the issue of power, so that right now there's World Cup event, and before France plays Poland, then Zesta is switched off. So we believe that those are some of the things that we basically would want society to enjoy and ensure that there are alternatives. But the alternatives, Honourable Minister, let's remove duty on importation of generators or all solar-related products, so that at least business can go towards that alternative.
The country's authorities have announced plans to increase power imports from neighboring countries like Zambia, South Africa and Mozambique. Despite the challenges facing these countries when it comes to power generation, however, they are concerned with the long-term impact of power importations.
On power, we have to act urgently and now. I fully agree. I said it's very urgent. We just have to deal with this. Because as I said, currently when we import power, we're actually supporting IPPs of other countries. I won't mention the country because I know the specific country that has increased IPP power supply onto the grid, and we're importing that power. But we can't support our own. No, it can't be like that. We have to change that. And so we're going to open up the gates on this. Absolutely.
Shrinking levels of water in this dam has been attributed to climate change, and recurring droughts forced a reduction of power generation at the country's main hydropower plant from an installed capacity of 1,050 megawatts to just 200 megawatts. Now the nation is desperately looking for alternatives.
We are also looking in the medium term to bringing in competitive procurement of 500 megawatts of solar, which a pre-feasibility study has been completed, and that will be announced during the first quarter of next year. We have also signed as government 2 major projects, one with Evergreen, an IPP which would want to do 100 megawatts in Munyati, and also 500 megawatts which will be done in phases of 100 megawatts each, coming from Sky Power. An addendum to the agreement was signed during COP27.
But the business community believes even more can be done, both in the short to long term.
Solar is a provision for residents and possibly industry. But I also think there's alternative sources of power. We have a huge gas reserve in Zimbabwe that has not been utilized. They've done a lot of exploration, a big mining company recently, and it looks promising. And I think if we can unlock the gas reserves, the methane gas that we have, we can supply power to the nation through gas turbines, which is a much more efficient way of generating power than coal, than maybe even hydroelectric. Hydro is another one. We haven't utilized the full force of our rivers. There's mighty Zambezi River. Does not just accumulate in Kariba, where we have a hydro plant. It could be captured along the river in many sources, and we can create smaller power plants, hydroelectric plants in our rivers in Zimbabwe. So I think the combination of hydro and gas can solve the energy requirements of the country.
For the ordinary Zimbabwean, the dark episode will continue a little longer. Football lovers have to endure a World Cup blackout as power turns on between midnight and 5 a.m. Most are already anticipating a bleak festive season. Khalihle Khumalo, SABC News.